lendlela esihambayo uhinde lendlela esihambayo uhinde lendlela esihambayo washumandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sodibana ngefreedom day washumandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sohlangana ngefreedom day ihinde lendlela esihambayo.
Well, another party that should be celebrating its performance from Wednesday's polls is the Democratic Alliance. But instead, the party woke up to shocking news this morning that its parliamentary leader, Lindiwe Mazibuko, has quit. Now, our parliamentary team spoke to the DA's Helen Zille about Mazibuko's resignation. She says Mazibuko resigned after accepting an offer to study at Harvard University in the Free State. In the United States.
There's no question of somebody being shafted. Absolutely none at all. No one said that David Mania was being shafted when he got the offer of a scholarship to go to Harvard. And, you know, a wonderful thing has happened to her. She's got the opportunity of a lifetime. Most of us would have given an arm and a leg for that opportunity. Like I would have given an arm and a leg for a Nieman Fellowship to Harvard. It didn't happen. So things don't happen. And when they do happen to people, it's a wonderful thing and we must celebrate that. So I don't know why there's speculation when a black person decides to accept a scholarship. There wasn't when a white person decided to accept a scholarship.
Well done, South Africa. Through voting, you have made your mark for democracy. The State Information Technology Agency will continue to work with government to secure your data in a safe environment. CETA, safeguarding the integrity of the population register through ICT provision. South Africa, a better place to live in.
Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Sphumelele Zondi.
Currently, we've got 3 apps that we've developed: the Q Marshall app, a commuter app, and a taxi association app.
The Chinese e-commerce company Alibaba Group Holding has decided to pursue an IPO in New York. Safaricom wants to introduce M-Pesa to Kenya's popular matatu industry. This will enable commuters to pay taxi fares using mobile money.
That's Network, Sundays, 7:30 p.m. on SABC News.
Africa is symbolized by these magnificent trees. The Sunland Big Baobab is carbon dated to be around 1,600 years old. When baobabs become 1,000 years old, they begin to hollow inside. In the Big Baobab, this has resulted in the world-famous Baobab Tree Bar.
That's Kaleidoscope, Sundays, 5:30 p.m. on SABC News.
Buoyed by 23 national seats from over 1 million voters, EFF leader Julius Malema says his party is South Africa's government in waiting. And he has the ANC to thank for it, for expelling him, that is. I spoke to him yesterday. Julius, I guess congratulations are in order.
Thank you very much, Bravo.
Well, did any of the leaders of the major political parties call you to congratulate you?
No, well, many comrades called me from the ANC, congratulating us, but also dissing us that we stole their percentage and they wanted back and all that. It was all fun, yeah, but because the work was done and the people were beginning to speak. And the only thing we can do is to appreciate the mandate people are giving to us.
Well, did you even think of, say, calling someone like President Zuma to congratulate him?
I will call President Zuma before the official announcement. I think it's the right thing to do. That's what democracy means, whatever the differences. For the sake of this country and for the love of this country, we have to bow and congratulate President Zuma. We're here to accept the results. We do accept the results and agree that the elections were free and fair. And the people have spoken, and we must respect the wish of the people.
What will you say to him?
Congratulations, Comrade President, and we wish you all the best. We hope that you will do things different for the sake of the growth of this country.
When you say differently, you mean you would like them to do what exactly?
We have to fight corruption. We have to prioritize the land. We have to nationalize the mines in order to finance the social program of the state, be it education, healthcare, water, electricity, houses and sanitation. Our people are in need and we must be responsive, and we are going to be on the neck of the president and the entire ANC as a ruling party to deliver to our people, because we understand 6% to be saying go and put pressure, and we'll do exactly that.
Now, how is your attitude going to differ towards government, that is, as opposed to how the DA, for example, relates to the ANC?
Look, we're sending to Parliament quality leadership, which is going to bring about quality debate. We're not going to oppose for the sake of opposing. There must be substantial arguments, and they must be backed by facts. And we need to table out the matters of the African masses on the table without fear or favor. And where the ANC is doing well, we'll never have a hesitation to stand up and say, congratulations. The same thing with the DA. If the DA is putting a motion that is in the interest of our people, we'll vote with them in support of such motions. If the ANC wants 2/3 to expropriate the land without compensation, they've got it. We'll give them our 6% and we'll take the land and give it to our people. We are there to support anything that is aiming at changing the lives of our people, and we are there to fight anything that continues the apartheid legacy and continues the exclusion of our people from the mainstream economy. We will never agree with such things.
Now, from where you sit, which is obviously still outside of Parliament, what are the three most important things that this ANC should be doing but isn't doing at the moment?
The land expropriation without compensation, the redistribution of the wealth of the country so that we fight unemployment, inequality, and the third thing is the education. We need to give our people free quality education so that we produce an educated nation and give this country a sustainable economic freedom through education. So those are the things that we feel very strong about as a country, because if you redistribute the wealth, people will have houses, people will have water, electricity, people will have jobs, and all those type of things. Yeah.
The three things that you like about the ANC, what the ANC is doing right, which you're going to support as soon as you get to Parliament.
The ANC did right in 1994 by giving us this freedom to vote, and that was the beginning and the end of it. Otherwise, it has become a monster. It's eating its own children. There's nothing that is there to be praised.
But this is not a sort of personal grudge because of what happened to you, and you're going to be hell-bent on approving that you're going to be an irritant. In other words, it's on substantive issues. Whatever opposition, whatever you'll be opposing for, it'll be because it's the right thing to do, not because you have a personal grudge.
My brother, I've just accepted the results. I've just congratulated the ANC and the DA, despite the fact that I received many calls, people saying these things are not free and fair, there are a lot of problems and all that. I said, if you love this country and if you love the people of this country, you must appreciate what they've given you. I do not have any personal scores to settle. I thank the ANC for having expelled me, because it gave me an opportunity to experience certain things at an early age, an experience I'll live with for the rest of my life. A 33-year-old leads a formation of a party, and that party becomes a serious force within 8 months. For me, that's an achievement, and it is the ANC that has set me to be on this path. I thank them for that. I have no bitterness at all. I've outgrown that part. I don't hold grudges for a very long time. I'm done. Now I'm focusing on doing what is good for our people and not what is good for Julius.
And being surrounded by 1 million plus voters who have pledged their loyalty to you and to your party is not in any way going to make you, for lack of a better way of putting it, big-headed. That silly Julius, oh, Safa. You know?
No. Many people have been saying, actually, you are maturing like an old wine, and you're coming together very nicely, and that's what we like. And that's why we call ourselves government in waiting. We're not going to display any arrogance. We're humbled by 1 million votes, and we understand the 1 million vote to be saying, go fight for us and do it in a manner that will make us proud. I received a call from a lady, an old lady in KZN yesterday, saying to me, I was truly saying to me, go and fight for us, Mtwanam. Don't shout at them, put your facts on the table. Whether they like them or not, put them in a manner that will be very proud to continue associating ourselves with the EFF. And that message is well received.
And it's exactly what you're going to do.
Absolutely. We're going to engage in a very robust debate, Vuyo. I think the ANC chaps know me very well. That I engage without any fear or favor. I'm not scared of anything. And that's what you're going to experience. I don't like ageism. People who want to say you can't say this because you are young. We are in politics here. We are not in a Sunday school. We are going to say things the way they are. And that's what 1 million plus people voted for. We like Julius because he puts his issues in a manner that you don't have to ask yourself after, what did he mean? He's very clear at all times. We'll never change that. Whether they like it or not is their own business to deal with. Old people who behave like kids in a manner that is not deserving our respect, they will never get a respect. You will never get a respect in a lucky packet. You must earn respect. And stealing our public money, you'll never receive such a respect from us. We're going to fight that. And we're going to fight it in a manner that those who are uncomfortable is their own business. We ought to reassure South Africans that we'll protect their purse, we'll protect the integrity of this country, we'll do everything in our power to expose the shenanigans of the African National Congress.
It's interesting you mention the maturity issue, because the last time we had an interview, after showing it, a few people asked me whether in fact I thought you were sincere in the or it was all a facade, because you were a different Julius from the Julius they knew.
Look, being a youth is not static. You outgrow that stage, and some of us, we are forced by our responsibility to grow very fast. We appreciate that certain things happened, and we learn from those mistakes and move forward, and we're genuine about it. I mean, in the past, to hear of so many things that have happened wrongly in Johannesburg, we wouldn't even be sitting here and say, well, let's accept the result. For sure, we'll be on the streets toying and forcing people that these results are not proper and all that. But you come to appreciate that you are a leader of the people. And once you say certain things, those things can lead into this country being on ashes. And you will destroy a country of your own child. Act responsibly. Those are the things we learned throughout our involvement in politics.
Now, Alex is on tenterhooks, and there have been suggestions because people saw some visuals of people wearing red berets there. What is your attitude towards what's happening?
We have just called for calm in Alex. Whatever the shenanigans, let's rise above. It is in the interest of the legacy of Nelson Mandela. It is in the interest of this country to have peace and stability. We learned our ways, and sometimes you accept, even if things were done wrongly, for the sake of progress and unity. You say, fine, we'll get you next time. That's the school fees you pay when you are in politics anyway. So sometimes there are things that are not right, but you have to live with them for the sake of progress in South Africa. So Alexander, we call upon all those comrades, all of us, please, let's accept the results, let's accept defeat, let's proceed with building this country and not destroying it. This is the country we are going to inherit. We are a government in waiting. We are going to take this government. We are sure about that. It means if we work hard, every 8 months we'll get 1 million votes. Immediately after these elections, let's go back to the branches to prepare for local government elections. That is our attitude. It has never happened overnight, but we've made it, especially with a president who's facing corruption charges, who's facing tax issues, who's being accused of all manner of things, without resources, without proper structures, with inexperienced people. No minister, no premier has resigned to join you. No one has got an experience of conducting such a contested, highly contested elections. And you emerge number 3. Come on, man, you must celebrate, because even in Olympics, they only announced 3. So we've got bronze. We're taking home something.
We're going to take a quick ad break. We'll be back right after this short ad break.
Well done, South Africa. Through voting, you have made your mark for democracy. The State Information Technology Agency will continue to work with government to secure your data in a safe environment. CETA, safeguarding the integrity of the population register through ICT provision. South Africa, a better place to live in.
Rocks and stones are such an inescapable part of the Zimbabwe landscape. They're absolutely everywhere. There's granite, there's serpentine, and there's soapstone. But using this ordinary rock, with a little bit of creativity and skill, they've been able to use this ordinary rock to put Zimbabwe on the global map. The monument's bricks were carved out of the granite rock faces.
That's Kaleidoscope, Sundays 5:30 p.m. on SABC News.
Coming up this week.
March is Human Rights Month. This coming Sunday at 2 p.m. on Rights and Recourse, we will be discussing immigration laws, asylum seekers, refugees and xenophobia with a panel of experts.
Join Dumile Mateza on Rights and Recourse every Sunday at 14 to 1500 CAT.
Your World provides trusted world, continent and local stories. We deliver breaking news from across the globe and information on the latest top stories on business, technology, politics and sport. analysis of the big global business and economic issues as they affect consumers and investors. Make sure you don't miss Your World, weekdays between 11 and 12 midnight. We keep the nation fully informed.
Welcome back, and if you've just joined us, this is a wrap of the 2014 elections, and we're talking to both winners and losers. Now, still on EFF leader Julius Malema, I asked him what would happen to him and his party if criminal and tax-related charges were to stick.
If these guys had something on me, they would have trialed me long before the elections because they knew I was a problem. In the last appearance, I was the one who was fighting, let the trial begins now. Because I want to answer, I'm unable to fight corruption because people say, but you are also accused. I want my name cleared. Imagine Julius Malema with a cleared name. Imagine Julius Malema without tax accusations. That will be the most influential Julius Malema. We are unable to do so because of this unfounded allegations which the state is scared to put them to test in a court of law. So that was unfortunate, but we fought, and we fought a good fight, and our people listened to us, and we're grateful, we're humbled by that, and we'll never be big-headed and arrogant.
And someone says, but how then do you explain owing the taxman 60 million if you've never worked?
I've worked. You see, and I see the ANC people are making the same mistake. They say, if you have worked in the ANC, you have never worked. In the ANC, there are people who work full-time. I did that. I worked for the ANC full-time with a pay slip. And the ANC was paying me a salary. But the tax issue is not mine. It's a trust matter, which I've over-explained even to the voters as to what happened. My tax bill, Julius Malema, with my tax number is clear. Even this year, 2013 financial year, tax year, we declared and paid. So I have no issue with taxmen. The issue of tax is with my trust and the family trust, which is taxable on me, and that's what we're dealing with. And I think we need SARS to help, not to be vindictive, not to destroy. SARS must be able to say, look, we've taken your properties, this is how much we've received, and if you can give us so much, we can close this matter. We're ready to settle with SARS, but it must not be politically motivated. SARS settles with people every day. Dave King is the latest, owing them billions. Ivan Kosa is a beneficiary of such settlements. Why can't they do it with Julius Malema? Sit down. This matter has been dragging for far too long. Let's close this. And I've always maintained all of us must pay our tax. And I'm doing exactly that. Julius Malema, as a person, doesn't owe a tax. The tax matter belongs to the trust.
Now, in the time that you've been going in and out of dealing with, whether it's dealing with SARS or going to court, and you're not worried that your party may suffer and factionalism may creep in and stuff like that?
Look, any party, when it grows, it will suffer such things. And not because of my tax matter, not because of my criminal matter. There will be opportunists who are going to emerge and who are suffering from uncontrollable ambition for power. We have to deal with such collectively as an organization. I think that there is a sense in the EFF that anyone else who comes with a tendency of being disruptive and wanting to undermine the unity of the organization, such a person shall face a rejection by the membership. And I'm very comfortable that will not be like COPE. People were fighting in COPE to go into parliament. In the EFF, people are saying remove me from the list so that so-and-so can go high. So the scenarios are completely different, and very soon we'll announce the names of people who have asked to be released so that they can concentrate full time on the organization. So we have no problem of people who are fighting for positions, but we have no such a thing in the EFF. We have people who are saying, I want to work on the ground and not a elitist arrangement of parliament. No, we don't have such.
Is that your belief, though, that parliament is elitist?
Yeah, I mean, look at them. They all look so nice, nicely dressed up in ties and...
You're not saying you're going to rock up in...
No, I'm rocking up like this.
Why?
What's wrong?
I'm just asking.
There's nothing wrong. You say why? Because you suspect there's something wrong. You are wrong yourself.
Like there's something wrong.
How do you say clothes of the workers are wrong? You think clothes is you, the jacket,
no.
and the tie.
It's sort of
people hide stupidity behind ties, man. Fools wear ties.
You could be.
So there are clever people who are wearing a work suit. It doesn't matter what you wear. What matters is upstairs. That's what we must celebrate, and not clothes.
Yeah, they either say traditional attire or something like that.
I'm wearing a work suit. Yes, I'm going to work. That's my work from now onwards. Work suit. So what's wrong?
No, nothing.
If they expel me, it means they don't want workers in parliament. I want a mine worker who looks at parliament and say, that's me there. We are represented there. And stop creating an impression that parliament is royalty. Those are the servants of the people. They must humble themselves. All of them now are beginning to say, I need to go and design a dress. Me, I'm sorted.
You're in your overalls, and you'll be there.
Sorted and beret. One day I will rock up with a makarapa. There's no problem. I'm going to work.
Well, another first-time contestant in these elections was the National Freedom Party. They have bagged 6 seats in the National Assembly. I caught up with their leader after last night's results announcement. Mama Gwaza, you must be extremely happy.
I am ecstatic. I'm very, very happy and yet very humbled, because I knew that people were going to support us, but I didn't know what percentage we are going to get. And for that, I want to give credit to the leadership of the party, to all volunteers of the party, to ordinary citizens of the country, because the party is not only voted for by the members of the party, but you are also voted by the people who are sympathizing with you, people who are supporting you. And to all of them, I'm very grateful. I will always be indebted to them. We'll remain true to what we have proposed in our manifesto.
What happens to you? Are you staying in KZN, or are you going to the National Parliament to lead your party from there?
People voted because they believe that we were going to go to National Parliament to be the voice of the voiceless. But on Monday, I have already called a meeting of the leadership of the party. We'll be meeting on Monday discussing all these issues so that we take a decision that will benefit the party, because what is important for me is to strengthen the party and do what is going to be beneficial to the party and all members of the party.
Well, listen, I'm asking you, I'm sure you have a preference, don't you? Personal preference.
Well, we thought, you remember that we wanted to be an official opposition in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. It was going to give us more authority to go out and work for the people, but we did not attain that. But what is important for me is to serve the people of this country, is to ensure that they do get service delivery. That is what is important. But we will see what benefits us. We'll discuss that and come to a conclusion on Monday.
Now, I've looked at parties that have leaders who decide to stay at home or in the home province and not go to the National Parliament, and almost all of them haven't actually done well.
I'm not very sure. The party is in all provinces in South Africa, but the strength of the party is in KwaZulu-Natal and in Zululand in particular. That is where I have worked very hard for the people of that area. But I'm not sure. I need to ensure that the party grows, because that is what I've been saying all the time. And I'm vindicated today, because people will say, no, the National Freedom Party is going to be obliterated. But look at where we are today. But we will be taking that decision decision. No, we will look at all the pros and cons, and we will take a decisive decision on Monday.
What did you get right?
For me, is determination. For me, is good governance. For me, is clean governance, transparency, and accountability, and ensuring that services do go to the people. I think hard work also plays a pivotal role, because that is what we're good at. All leaders of the party have been working very hard. We have been having at least the maximum 15 public meetings a day. That is what I've been doing. And I thought that I was going to rest for a few days, but we have to start the program of going back to the people to thank them. I believe so much in constituency-based politics. That is what is growing our party. And I have already sent the program to all our leaders. On Thursday, I'm beginning the program of visiting structures of the party, constituencies and districts, to thank people for the support that they've given our party.
I can say is good luck and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Insurer American International Group has sold its aircraft leasing business to AerCap Holdings for $5.4 billion.
The Chinese couldn't do it, but the Dutch landed the deal. AIG sold its huge jet leasing business to Holland's AerCap Holdings.
AIG has been trying to sell International Lease Finance Corp since 2008, when the insurance giant nearly collapsed and was forced under federal government control.
AIG has been shedding businesses since the government bailed it out.
That's News at 1, daily at 1 p.m. on SABC News.
Crippling strike drags on the Platinum Belt. Trade union NUMSA is now threatening a massive strike in the steel and engineering sector. Government says staggered power cuts are likely to continue in coming days. Eskom declared a state of emergency early this morning. Industrial customers have been asked to reduce consumption by another 10%. Thousands of striking AMCU members poured into Pretoria today and marched to the union buildings to hand over a petition to President Jacob Zuma. The union is unhappy about what it calls harassment and discrimination by the government.
That's business news, weekdays at 8 p.m. on SABC News.
Who are we, you ask?
This is who we are.
We are technologically driven.
We are unashamedly Afrocentric.
We advise you not only on legal matters,
but on health issues as well.
We bring imagination to life.
We celebrate arts and culture and lifestyle.
We tackle life challenges head on.
We dig deep. We probe. We question.
We invite you to take a view from our house, as we tell it without fear, separating fiction from factual.
We are the SABC News Channel.
All news, all global, all the time. Coming up this week.
South Africa has seen unusual rainfall in the last 2 weeks, which has caused a lot of damage throughout the country.
In next week's program, we will discuss the health risks and hazards associated with the floods.
Join Dr. Sello Mutaung on Health Talk Live every Saturday from 14 to 1500.
Welcome back. Well, the Pan-Africanist Congress and the African People's Convention are among the parties that just made it to the National Assembly with 1 seat each. I spoke to the leaders of both parties.
Well, we made it big, actually, except that our votes were stolen from us.
What happened?
This 1 seat is not our seat. We deserve more seats than this. We've got 65,000 members, dedicated members, who were determined to vote and who came out to vote. So which means 65,000 people came out to vote for the PAC. Yet on the board there, only less than 40 were reflected.
Have you registered a complaint with the IEC?
Yes, we have registered with the IEC, and the irregularities at Cape Town universities in my own voting station were not reflected, me and my wife and my son. Yet they said there was nothing. In Cape Town there was nothing. And in Port Noland, the mass of people that committed to vote for us are not reflected. In Alexander, I mean, I can count many places. We've got documented evidence to demonstrate that votes from the PAC were stolen.
Now, what have you done with that information?
We have submitted that information to the IEC. We met them twice today, and then they are using a very dubious regulation, which in regards to which they are not consistent. They said that we should have come yesterday before 9. So they acknowledge, in fact,
all is lost.
According to their own paperwork, according to their own records, our votes have been moved from us to other parties.
The APC is like a soccer team that played well but lost the game. We are happy, however, that we at least have our head above the water. We will regroup, assess the situation and map the way forward. We are very grateful for this reprieve. We believe that next time we will not be in this position again.
What are the lessons you're taking from this election?
Well, look, the APC had come across as a party of campaigns. We took up issues and did all that. But I think fundamentally we neglected party building, which should then have given us the core that should drive our campaign. We worked very hard and our comrades stuck to the script. About that, there is no doubt. But I think there were a few fundamental things that as a party we should be able to correct and ensure that we are in a much more better position next time.
Mr. Mondela, any lessons learned in this election?
Well, we have learned that next time around, we're not going to place just 2 party representatives or party agents at polling stations. We're going to bring a whole army of them to monitor the activities of every IEC official, what they do and how they do it, so that now we don't lose our votes the way that we have lost them. We're going to take all precautions, and we're going to start building up that army of agents, party agents, who will monitor and observe how things are going and to prevent people from stealing our votes ever again.
But would you say you were better organized this time around than in previous elections?
Oh, certainly. We're very better organized. We did a good job. I mean, I can tell you there is no day in the last 6 weeks of the campaign that I was at home. Woke up every morning, did door to door, went to every part of the country and organizing, and the reception that we got. People are asking, where have you been, PAC? We have not seen you for a very long time.
Maybe then you should take a lesson from what the HSRC survey says, because it says, which was read by the IEC deputy chairperson there, that voters actually made their choices months before the election, and only about 11% actually made that choice on the day, which means maybe you should have started a hell lot earlier.
Well, we did start early. We did start early with the elections. You know, you cannot campaign for elections until the date has been declared, and then they said now you can start campaigning. We all have had that time, and we use that time very usefully, and we were confident, not hopeful, that we were going to get much more. In fact, we were targeting 10 seats, you know, to be frank with you. But we haven't seen those 10 seats. Those 10 seats are lodged in other parties.
Last word from you, Mr. Godin?
Yeah, well, I think for us, I would like to thank our members who showed absolute dedication, who day in and day out went out campaigning with no resources, only for the love of the cause of the APC. I want to say that as the leadership, we will try and do much better so that they don't have to suffer the indignity of waiting till this late to know whether we're in or not.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity
to explain to the nation.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Right at the back of the Drakensberg Sun Hotel is the beautiful dam, where you can canoe and take a leisurely boat ride for your enjoyment.
The name of this dam is Lake Nkwakwi. It's about 15 meters deep.
That's Kaleidoscope, Sundays 5:30 p.m. on SABC News.
A forensic audit report has found that the Independent Electoral Commission's procurement of new premises was neither fair nor transparent.
That wasn't a nice experience to see someone die like that. 18-year-old, I mean, he's still a child.
It's very pretty. Yeah, it looks very great.
Locals say they have their own big five: cattle, sheep, horses, donkeys and pigs.
That's Morning Live, daily at 6 a.m. on SABC News.
Coming up this week.
March is Human Rights Month. This coming Sunday at 2 p.m. on Rights and Recourse, we'll be discussing immigration laws, asylum seekers, refugees and xenophobia with a panel of experts.
Join Dumile Mateza on Rights and Recourse every Sunday at 14 to 1500 CAT.
Well, we apologize for the bad sound quality in that previous clip. Now, among the parties which didn't make it at all are Black Consciousness Adherents, the Azanian People's Organization, and the newly formed Patriotic Alliance. Both parties are adamant, though, that election 2014 was not their last.
Let me start with you, Mr. Dugobo, veteran of the liberation struggle. Now you're finding yourself out of the parliamentary processes altogether.
Well, let me just say that it's devastating to tell the truth. We are highly disappointed. There was disbelief. It doesn't make sense, by the way. We're still analyzing our results, but I could give you an example. You have a village, and in this village you have 700 card-carrying members. I'm not talking about supporters. I'm talking about people who are card-carrying members of the party. And it says 880 votes, 80. It doesn't make sense because you would have expected to do better than the number that you have for supporters and of course for members, and obviously members bring their families and all those things. We still have our own analysis of the results that we must do, but we are disappointed indeed. Yeah.
Mr. Gunene, yours, first time?
Yes, I'm happy with what we have achieved. It's not the desired result, but I think having 3.5 weeks of 3.5 months of campaigning, focusing on one province, funding the campaign from our pockets, myself and the president, we have done very well. And we have no complaints, except that we need to go back to the drawing board and say, what did we do right, what did we do wrong, how do we correct the wrongs, how do we improve the rights, and then do it better next time.
Are you still going to be at it?
Yes, the president now, Gaten McKenzie, has been traveling all regions in the Western Cape, talking to our members, and fortunately, all of them are saying, please, let us continue. We will start campaigning as soon as these consultations are finalized. So we are preparing now for the by-elections on the 28th of May, 2 in the Western Cape, and we'll be preparing for the 2016 municipal elections.
Mr. Dugobo, where to for Azapo?
Well, we will have our meeting tomorrow morning. We will go to the drawing board and see where things went wrong. We possibly misread the situation. The last time I was talking about an improvement and not even defending the seat. How could we have misread the situation in such a manner? Of course, we are going to continue. Remember, ZAPO was not created for elections. We know that Parliament is an important site of struggle, particularly in the democracy that we are living in now. We were outside Parliament between 1994 and 1999, and we survived and bounced back come 1999. So we will continue. We'll go back to our communities. We'll be talking to our members. Some of them are very devastated, as I said, very heartbroken. They still can't understand.
Mr. Konene, yes. Do you regret having left the EFF, given how it has performed?
Not at all. Not at all. I was part of this particular vision. There's some issues I was disappointed with. I did not agree with, and I felt that I had to leave. But I do not regret at all.
I remember the last time we spoke, Mr. Jacobo, you said you had a target of 15 MPs. Now, the question I'm going to ask is whether perhaps that was realistic or what it was based on, given that you weren't able to even bring back the one seat that you had.
We said then that we were serious. It was based on what we had seen. Like I said, that we had built in the last 3 years more branches than ever before. We had a very, very stronghold and a foothold in many communities that we never existed. Except that support, the people who carried our cards, for example, it did not translate into votes. But of course, there were other areas of problems. As I talk to you now, and I don't know how it escaped the media, by the way, a village called Kunotswani in the northwest, just outside Inukana, where 50 members of AZAP are arrested as we speak. They have been arrested, they were arrested on election day. It has not been covered. We have been trying our best to make sure that this thing is known. A village where we had more than 1,200 members. The result is that we are told only 80 people, maybe 80 people voted, somewhere thereabout. The majority of the people could not even get out of their houses because they knew police were looking for them. And we think it's unfair because almost everybody there knows who the cause of everything was. We can't cause chaos in a village that we are controlling. So obviously there was a certain hand that went in. I'm just giving it as an example. You can say the same with Bloemhof, where our members were told, we spoke to the police and all those things. We are not complaining. We are just saying that things did not go our way. We were serious when we were saying that there was going to be an improvement, and it was based on what we knew. But we'll go back, of course, and see what went wrong.
Now, when your president was on one of our debate programs, he said you are focusing on colored communities, which a lot of people thought was a non-starter. Aren't you now paying the price for narrowing your scope, so to speak?
I don't think it was a bad decision. I think we still stand by that particular decision. However, we will have to review our strategy going forward.
10 seconds each, closing remarks.
Well, a big thank you to our members, to people who voted for us, but particularly for those young people, party agents, old men and women who braved the sun, doing door-to-door, but even being party agents and making sure that AZAPO is protected. We thank them very much for that.
Yes, let me also likewise thank our members who worked tirelessly. Our national organizer, Anthony Mlata, President Gaten McKenzie, left Joburg to go and be based in the Western Cape to focus on these elections. Our canvases, the ladies who were capturing, but most importantly, those who braved the sun and the cold of the mornings to go and vote for Patriotic Alliance, and who had confidence in us. We want to thank them. Patriotic Alliance is here to stay. We are going to build this organization, and I must conclude by congratulating the ANC for once again winning these elections, and congratulations to the DA for also winning the Western Cape again. Our strategy was to get them below 50%. We will achieve that in 2019.
Well, gentlemen, thanks to both of you. Better luck next time.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to the SABC for the opportunity.
And the quote of the 2014 elections has to come from DA leader Helen Zille. The morning after Election Day, she was asked what she thought of Dr. Mamphela Ramphele, the woman she once went to bed with.
It it's a hard lesson for her in how tough politics is. You know, I offered her the world, as I said earlier. She wanted the universe, and she ended up with a shack in Pofada.
Ouch. And that's where we come to the end of this program. From me and the rest of the crew, good night.